Hey guys, so I'm having to make a video I never thought I'd have to make. I didn't do this yesterday because I was still trying to process it. But yesterday, man, we lost probably one of the most influential musicians, figures of our time. And man, I don't even know, what do you say about this? The great Ozzy Osbourne. Like, how can you sit and describe what he means to metal, to music in general? I mean, he was a big influence on me as far as like wanting to write cool songs because every song that Ozzy wrote was a banger. It seemed like he had no bad songs. And you can't talk to a single metal band out here, like local here in my area or anywhere really, about their influences and not have them say Black Sabbath or Ozzy Osbourne. The first time I heard Paranoid, dude, I was like, whoa. In his voice, I heard the voice and I was like, whoa. And I was a little kid. And Metallica was my intro into thrash metal. But Ozzy was my intro into rock metal music, you know? Pardon the voice, I just got off work. But like how can you describe what he means to us, what he means to music, what he means to the world? Because people didn't just know Ozzy from his music. They knew him from the Osbournes. How many people watched that? I know I watched it back when I was younger. And he was instrumental in inventing the greatest genre of music to ever be created, heavy metal. And I really don't know what to say. I can't put into words the impact this has had on the world. I mean, I know that all of us musicians are out here, we're all sad. Music fans are sad, but even the people that knew him from the Osbournes that aren't particularly musicians, it's almost like it's infected the entire world. Or not infected, affected the entire world. The last time I remember this happening was with Eddie Van Halen when he passed away. And I watched a little bit of that concert, the Back to the Beginning. And you can tell he was frail. And I was like, man, but he still got out there and he did it. And when he started singing, it sounded like Ozzy sounded back in the 80s. And I was with my girlfriend watching it, and I was like, dude, he sounds just as good now as he ever has. Not thinking that we were witnessing the last time he would ever grace the stage, the last time he would hold a mic. And at the end of Black Sabbath's set, they played Paranoid at the end, and the last line he says, I ask you to enjoy life. I wished I could, but it's too late. And people speculated, did he know that he was nearing the end? Because we all sure didn't. I know I didn't. And this is a hard one, man. It really is. It hits just as hard as anything in the heart. Because his songs, man, they're like the soundtrack of my childhood. Growing up with Crazy Train, Mr. Crowley, I Don't Know, which might be more recent. Over the Mountain. Dude, I love Over the Mountain. Shot in the Dark. Like, wow. I don't know what to say. All I know is that we've lost a legend. There's not one like him. There won't ever be another one like him. And you can definitely say that nobody did life like Ozzy. That attitude of, I just don't give a fuck about nothing. I'm gonna do what I want. Pardon the language, but he was hell on wheels. And I've heard a lot of his crazy stories that about the tours back in the day, not knowing when I was hearing it that it was all actually true. Like, man, Ozzy's one of a kind. His voice was one of a kind. No one can imitate that. Like, wow. But my heart goes out to his family, to Sharon and the kids, to Zach. I'm sure Zach's probably devastated right now. I haven't seen if he's posted a statement or anything. But, man, the tributes. There are tributes pouring in from everywhere. I cannot open my phone on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram without a tribute to Ozzy popping up. And I never thought this day would come, man. Did any of us ever think this day would come? I mean, he seems immortal, You hear about the ATV accident that he had and all these different things that's happened to him throughout his life. And it's like, nothing can kill that man. He's going to be, right there with Keith Richards from the Rolling Stones with like 5 cockroaches. And we're all going to be gone. But Ozzy will still be here. But I guess, it really puts into perspective. There are people just like us. They're not invincible like we all think. And me and my 2 buddies, Matt and Josh, were talking about this last night. And just, how many people this guy has influenced. Not just in rock and metal. There's rappers and country artists that are influenced by Ozzy. And I told my buddy Josh, I was like, look, man, we love music. We like to play music. We like to create. This happening shows us that we need to be the best musicians that we can be, because Ozzy was always up there giving it his best, no matter what, even to the end. And he was like, well, yeah, I can see that. And I was like, yeah, I mean, he came out on stage one last time, not even sure if he could do it. He wasn't even sure he could hold a mic and sing. But come hell or high water, I'm going to do that show. And he did it. And for someone to be so influential in music, I think all of us musicians, need to be the best that we can possibly be. For ourselves and for others that are along for the journey. So anyway, I'll be quiet now. I just wanted to make this video. I never thought I'd have to make it. Because like I said, Ozzy seemed immortal. Like, nothing's gonna kill Oz, dude. There's no way. And when I heard the news, man, when I heard that news, I heard it on the radio on Classic Rock Station. I was like, why couldn't it be some other celebrity that I don't give 2 shits about? Why does it have to be Oz, man? Like anybody but Oz, Hetfield, Hammett, Satriani, Vi, Petrucci, But anybody but Oz. But then, a lot of people were seeing it around my work, and they were like, it's fake. Sure, it's fake. Because, he's been part of that whole death hoax a few times. A few times people said he died. I had a lady come up to me at work just last week. Ozzy died. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, Ozzy died. And I was like, no. Ozzy's still alive. Well, check this out. And she sent it to me. And I was like, you really think that if he died, it wouldn't be on every possible outlet? And what happened when he actually died? It's on every possible outlet you can be on. It was on the news, on Fox 5, here in my area. It was all over YouTube, all over Facebook, all over TikTok, all over Instagram. I think Twitter had some stuff going. And Ozzy is one of those people in the music world that don't come along often. Because I have never, ever heard anybody that can replicate his voice. So anyway, I will be quiet now. But rest in peace to Ozzy. You know, we're going to miss him. The whole world is sad right now. And my thoughts and condolences go out to Sharon and his family. We love you, Oz, and we should do our best to be the best versions of ourselves and keep his legacy alive. Blast some Ozzy for at least a month. You know, just to pay homage to the man that made metal. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you in the next one.